This is Legally Literate, the go-to podcast for business owners to develop their legal literacy and keep up to date with the latest legal developments affecting the business sector in Australia. Each week we'll take you through the practical implications of these developments for your business in plain English, and we'll help you to develop your legal literacy along the way. We hope you enjoy this week's episode. Hi and welcome to this episode of Legally Literate. My name is Erica Taylor and I'm the CEO and founder of the Legal Literacy Foundation. I have a master's in corporate and commercial law and I've spent over 25 years working in the legal industry, with nearly 15 of those years spent practicing as a lawyer. I've also worked as a legal educator and a legal author. From my experience, I know how important it is for business owners to be able to access and understand the law that applies to their day-to-day business operations. Doing so helps business owners proactively manage legal risks that will inevitably arise in the conduct of any enterprise. My ultimate goal with the Legal Literacy Foundation is to empower you, the business owner, to be able to tackle those legal issues that arise in your business with confidence by developing your legal literacy. And so I want to talk to you about what it means to be legally literate and how you can start on the pathway to legal literacy. Before we can understand what it means to be legally literate, let's revisit what it means to be literate in general. When you are literate, it means you have competency and knowledge in a particular area. We generally associate literacy with being able to read, write, and do arithmetic. There are also other forms of literacy that we have and use, put to very good use, in our day-to-day lives. Examples of these are financial literacy and digital literacy. As business owners, we know the importance of financial literacy, being able to keep track of our books and our cash flow. And also as business owners, we have to have a degree of digital literacy. That is, we have to be able to navigate, use, deploy many different software platforms, different apps, a variety of different technologies to help us run our businesses on a daily basis. But as a business owner, have you ever considered the importance of legal literacy and what it means to be legally literate? Many of you probably have, but have put it in the too hard basket because the law itself is its own language. And if you've ever had any dealings with lawyers, you know that they speak in a different language to common parlance. Even if you're reading industry association press releases about changes in the law, or you're listening to politicians describe the effect of new laws that have been passed, sometimes it can all sound a bit like gobbledygook. And it's confusing and opaque. It's not easy to understand what the message is that's being conveyed, what a particular law means and what its impacts are going to be on the people it concerns. There's a primary reason why it's really important for everyone, not just business owners, but the population at large, to be legally literate. And that is the operation of the rule of law. The rule of law is essential for maintaining a free, fair, and democratic society. Laws are designed to establish standards of behaviour that ensure justice, equity, and accountability. One of the fundamental principles underpinning the rule of law is that all citizens should be able to know and understand the law. Knowledge of the law allows individuals to comply with it, thereby fostering predictability and order in society. While the idea of understanding the law may sound quite straightforward, according to the rule of law, it's often more complex. Beyond simple mandates like wearing a seatbelt when you drive or not using your mobile phone while driving, most of the laws that apply to us on a daily basis are quite complex and contain a number of exceptions. And of course, the application of the law will depend on the facts and circumstances of the particular case. How the law is applied and a matter is determined in relation to a dispute that I may have with the supplier might be different to how it's applied and the matter is determined in relation to your dispute with the supplier. For many, this complexity creates a barrier to people knowing and understanding their rights and obligations under the law. And for business owners, this complexity is heightened. If you think of your own operations, running a business and employing staff means that you need to be familiar with the law of contracts, employment law, consumer law in respect of the sale of goods and services, For your staff, you also have to have an understanding of bullying, harassment, and discrimination laws, etc. And then there are the laws that might be specific to your industry or your operations. So you might sell a product that's the subject of a product safety standard, one that is mandatory and that you must comply with. As a result of your operations, you might be subject to zoning laws and requirements or environmental regulations. And those latter examples, zoning, environmental regulations, etc., there'll be laws that may be different from state to state, territory to territory. And if you operate in a number of different states and territories, you'll have to be familiar with the laws that apply in each of those jurisdictions. And of course, we have our system of federation to thank for that. So the challenge for business owners lies not only in knowing what laws apply to their business, but also understanding their relevance, understanding the consequences of not complying with those laws, and then taking all that knowledge and putting it into action in respect of their own business. And without a degree of legal literacy, business owners risk non-compliance with the law, which can lead to legal and financial liability, reputational damage, and in some cases, the closure of a business. Thomas Jefferson said, "Ignorance of the law is no excuse in any country. If it were, the law would lose its effect because it can always be pretended." That saying underscores a key concept of the rule of law, and that is every person must know the law and the law must be knowable. Sounds pretty straightforward, but it's far from it. While the rule of law says that all laws must be publicly available, ascertainable, and reasonably clear in their meaning, the intricate nature of the law often extends beyond people's common knowledge. As a result, it frequently leaves people who have interactions and dealings with the law feeling anxious and uncertain. Lawyers play a vital role in interpreting the law and applying it to the facts and circumstances of the case that their client brings to them. But for the most part, and in my experience, most people go and see a lawyer when it's a little too late. Generally speaking, business owners will consult a lawyer when a problem that has been maybe manifesting for a little while gives rise to some sort of liability or legal exposure in the form of litigation. And that's what I mean when lawyers are consulted when it's a little too late. And sometimes lawyers aren't consulted at all because accessing legal representation is for many business owners prohibitively expensive. And sometimes the value of the problem or the dispute that the business owner has encountered will be outweighed by the legal fees that will be incurred in tackling the problem with a lawyer. Unlike some areas of law, like family law or criminal law, there's no legal aid for business owners with commercial legal disputes. The cost of legal services can leave many business owners in a bit of a jam, not being able to have a lawyer take care of the problem. But what if the problem could have been anticipated and mitigated in the first place? This is where legal literacy plays a really important role, because in becoming legally literate, business owners can then identify what problems give rise to what degree of legal risk, and then make informed decisions about whether or not to work with lawyers proactively in advance to develop strategies to help them mitigate those legal risks so the problem doesn't arise in the future. Of course, that's not always going to be the case, and there will be problems that escalate and will require legal advice. So legal literacy is really important. It means that you can develop your knowledge and understanding of the law so that you can foreshadow what issues may arise in the context of the laws that apply to your business, and then develop strategies to mitigate or reduce those legal risks. Of course, some problems will escalate, and you may find yourself in a situation where you do ultimately need to see a lawyer. But legal literacy also helps you in those circumstances, because by becoming legally literate, by being legally literate, it means you're armed with the knowledge to have informed discussions with your legal representatives. You're aware of what kind of evidence or documents you might need to take with you in your first consultation with a lawyer. so that you can put your best case forward to your lawyer, so they can in turn put your best case forward to the other side and maybe ultimately the court. So it's this education, it's this knowledge, it's this understanding that empowers you to navigate legal challenges in your business. Legal literacy gives you the confidence to navigate a system that can otherwise seem to be opaque and intimidating. I want to be clear though. Developing legal literacy is not about you trying to become a lawyer. It's about cultivating your awareness and comprehension of the laws that apply to your business. It's really about that point I made just before, about developing strategies off the back of that knowledge and understanding to mitigate your legal risks, to do what you can to try and avoid the risk coming to fruition, becoming a live issue. And then if it does, as I said, for you to be able to confidently engage with your legal advisors, which in turn allows you to maximize the value of the advice and the work that your lawyer gives you. The question, I guess, is then, well, how do you become legally literate? Is it just about reading a bunch of textbooks and trying to understand the law and going from there? How do you actually develop the skills to become legally literate? There are 4 stages on the pathway to legal literacy, and they are awareness, comprehension, application, and analysis. And I'll talk a little bit about each of these in turn. But I want you to know that legal literacy isn't a destination. Like the practice of law for lawyers, legal literacy for business owners is a continuous voyage. Laws are ever changing. They change all the time. And so becoming legally literate is about equipping yourself with knowledge and tools to navigate the legal landscape. Developing your legal literacy allows you to then do a number of things. It allows you to make informed decisions in the context of your business operations, in deciding when to consult a lawyer, being able to identify when consulting with a lawyer proactively might be beneficial for your business. It also equips you with knowledge to manage disputes or differences that may arise in the context of your business with your external stakeholders, like your suppliers, your customers, and also your internal stakeholders, like your employees and contractors. And finally, it enables you to find practical solutions to legal issues that might arise in the daily operation of your business. So let's talk about each of the steps along the pathway to legal literacy. The first step is awareness. This is a crucial and foundational step upon which you'll scaffold your knowledge and understanding of the law as you work your way along the pathway. The awareness stage, as the name would indicate, involves you becoming aware of the key laws that apply to your business. And it's at this stage that you will begin to become familiar with legal terminology, legal concepts, and the basic elements of law that apply to your business, but also understanding how the legal system works. And this awareness stage is a precursor to you delving more deeply into those laws and understanding the practical implications of them for your business. Without this foundational stage, your understanding of the law may be misplaced. The second stage on the pathway to legal literacy is comprehension. And this stage builds on the awareness stage because it is at this stage that you will begin to develop your understanding of that legal terminology, of those legal concepts and frameworks that you've become aware of in the context of your specific business and your industry. It's here that you begin to understand the context in which laws are applied, and you begin to understand the rationale for those laws and recognize the relationships between different legal principles. This stage is about connecting the dots between legal concepts, leading you to see the bigger picture. Not just the what, but also the why. The third stage on the pathway to legal literacy is application. This is where your legal knowledge really starts to get practical. You start to use what you have learned to make informed decisions about how you might mitigate those legal risks that you have identified because of your awareness and comprehension of the laws that apply to your business. The goal of this stage really is for you to put your legal knowledge to work. It's with this stage that you can start to develop a measured response to those legal risks you have identified or those legal issues that arise in your business and make informed decisions about how to best approach them, including whether or not you need to go and seek professional legal advice. And I think we would all agree that this is a really valuable skill for any business owner to have. And the fourth and final stage on the pathway to legal literacy is analysis. This stage is really about being able to workshop strategies on how to manage legal risks. That might include things like putting in place policies and procedures, seeking additional training for your staff. For example, if you have staff who are responsible for posting on social media, in respect of your social media marketing campaigns, you might consider that they need some training around the laws of misrepresentation. So analysis involves breaking down legal risks and their component issues, examining the strengths and weaknesses of your position, and contemplating what practical strategies might be applicable in the context of the particular issue. It's at this stage that you begin to leverage that knowledge that you've gained through awareness, comprehension, and application to make informed decisions to mitigate your risks or to strategize dispute resolution options and to work effectively with your legal advisors as and when they are needed. I want to stress that the evaluation of legal issues isn't about discovering problems after the fact, after the issue has arisen. And I also want to stress that when I'm talking about issues, legal issues in particular, I'm not necessarily talking about things that are all bad. There can be good legal issues too. I know it's hard for people to believe, but there can be. The example I used just before about arranging training for staff who post on social media for your business. Knowing that there are risks in posting on social media and certain rules around advertising, that's a good legal issue to have identified, because then you can take the steps to train your staff appropriately. And then you've mitigated the risk that your staff posting on social media is going to become an issue in the future because of their ignorance of the laws that apply. So as I said, legal issues can be good too. And legal literacy is really about being proactive. Proactively being able to identify legal risks and formulating the most advantageous strategy to address them. So really, it's a bit like mastering the art of chess, where every move is calculated and success hinges on the overall strategy. But let's get a little bit more specific about why legal literacy is important. As I've said, it helps mitigate legal risks. Business owners can identify and address those risks before they escalate into a really big problem. And this then saves time, money, resources, stress. I had many instances where I had to advise clients who came to me when they had been served with a statement of claim, where I'd have to say to them, the legal fees in this matter are going to outweigh the cost of the dispute. And in response to that, a client would often say, but it's the principle. Well, sometimes it is about the principle, but principles can be really expensive, especially when you're consulting a lawyer at that stage of a dispute, at the stage where you've been served with a statement of claim, you have to file a defense, and it's going to go to court. Second, legal literacy fosters better decision-making and forward planning. Informed decisions about legal issues lead to better outcomes and can in fact help a business grow and succeed. And finally, legal literacy enhances communication. Business owners who have a well-rounded understanding of the laws that apply to their business and the legal issues that arise in their business can communicate more effectively with their external stakeholders and their internal stakeholders. And as I've said, it can help business owners save money and time when they're engaging with legal advisors. And I want to stress that becoming legally literate as a business owner is not about trying to make you a lawyer or trying to replace the role of lawyers. You may be able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. But the reality is most business owners will have a bookkeeper and or an accountant who assists them with balancing their books, filing their tax return, and managing their tax liabilities. And so the same goes for consulting with lawyers when dealing with legal issues, either proactively to get ahead of the game and mitigate legal risks, or in the face of a dispute. So then how do you get started on this pathway to legal literacy? You can begin by familiarizing yourself with the critical laws that apply to your business and becoming familiar with relevant legal concepts and terminology. As you progress on your journey on the pathway to legal literacy, take that knowledge and then implement it in your day-to-day operations. Laws change, so it's crucial to stay informed of developments. Legal literacy is not just about being aware of and understanding the law. It's also about how you can deploy your knowledge and understanding in your business. It's a journey that starts with simple awareness and can ultimately lead to better decision making and legal risk management. Becoming legally literate as a business owner is a time investment that pays off in the long run. At the Legal Literacy Foundation, we specialise in simplifying complex legal principles, making them accessible and easy to understand for business owners. Our mission is to help you engage effectively with the laws and the legal frameworks affecting your business and which govern your day-to-day operations. Our goal is to equip you with the knowledge that you need in the context of your business to engage with the law effectively and also engage effectively with your legal advisors if and when the time comes.
Legally Literate is a production of the Legal Literacy Foundation. The Legal Literacy Foundation is dedicated to improving the legal awareness and legal literacy of Australian business owners. We empower business owners to engage with the law and participate in the legal system with confidence through our blogs, podcasts, and online courses. Please leave us a review and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And for more information about how we assist business owners to develop and improve their legal literacy, visit www.legalliteracyfoundation.com. Thanks for listening.